All right, folks, let's move into some NFL rumors here. We'll come back to the Agba trade later on in case you guys missed it earlier. But how about this one, Mitchell? And this, I don't think, is an April Fool's Day joke, but I can't rule it out entirely. The Giants are open to extending Eli Manning's contract, and the report from Airport says, you know what? It's not a terrible idea. It mitigates risk, and I'm paraphrasing, but this is the gist of it. What if he has a great year? They don't have to franchise tag him.
I think the only way the Giants should give Eli an extension is if he's having issues that last longer than 4 hours.
Okay.
That's literally the only way that I'd give Eli any kind of extension.
I don't really know how to respond to that one. Here's the thing, though, in terms of the actual idea of it. That's terrible.
It's terrible.
This is literally what the Jags did.
He's waving around his noodle, which is what I don't want to see anymore. I mean, when you look at these stats, okay? I mean, considering they have Evan Ingram, Saquon Barkley, I'll get serious, Sterling Shepard, they have a very talented offense, and sure, OBJ only played 4 games last year.
No,
but when you have
he missed like 4 games last year. You're thinking of 2017.
All right, regardless. Wasn't all that healthy. They have a very talented offense, and yet Eli Manning to me is still nothing all that great. Sure, in 2015, Eli threw for 35 touchdowns. But what has he done the last 3 years? I'm sick and tired of watching Eli. And the worst thing about Eli, he is the least mobile person I have ever seen. If you kind of get around the edge against the Giants, he just falls. He just goes down. He's like, no, I'm
can't
done.
move anymore.
Like,
my favorite headline, as we ask how crazy the Giants would be, by the way, the answer is a 10 here. My favorite headline was that,
give it a 10! Name that movie.
Giants owner gets emotional defending claims that keeping Eli Manning is an emotion-based decision.
Just like the guy said, I would never trade Odell Beckham Jr.
And that's Dave Gettleman. Look, it's the idea. Look, if you don't believe in a franchise quarterback this year, I can understand that if you're the Giants. They should have taken Darnold last year, whatever, but they got Barkley, so I guess it's fine in the end. But if your alternative plan to, we don't like any of the quarterbacks, let's extend Eli Manning, the logical disconnect is really bad there. That doesn't mitigate risk. All it does is reduce your chances of having long-term success because Eli's not the guy. He's not it. You agree?
I totally agree.
Do the commenters agree? Because you're
yeah, I told people to type 10 if they're better for Eli. But, like, it's one of those things for me. I hate the argument that Eli won 2 Super Bowls and he's a Hall of Famer. That has nothing to do with now.
Yeah.
And that's the only argument that people give me.
Yeah.
Like, I am from up north and I got a bunch of my friends are Giants fans. True. It drives me insane. Eli's time is gone. The Giants need to move on because you have a window right now with very, very talented young players on that offensive side of the ball, and you're just pissing it away.
All right, let's move to the draft then here. Let's talk about Nick Bosa and the Arizona Cardinals, Mitchell, because the Cardinals are at least showing interest. Remember, last Friday, they had dinner with him down in Florida, Fort Lauderdale, where Bosa's from. And then this Thursday, Friday, they're bringing him into Arizona for one of the official in-house visits.
Good. They should.
Yeah.
He's, in my opinion, the best player in the draft, and sure, the Cardinals, I think they're the interesting team because I don't know if they have a glaring need. Like, they have a bunch of needs, but at the end of the day,
they don't have like a super number one because they all have needs.
Exactly. So, but at the end of the day, I think they need to bring in Bosa. You need to bring in Kyler Murray. You need to bring in these players. So, worst case scenario, maybe the Cardinals trade out of that spot because they're in that scenario.
Two theories here, 2 possible outcomes. Number one, they're just going to take Nick Bosa.
Okay.
And that's legitimate. Then the Kyler Murray stuff is all fake to try and
I'm
bring
hoping
up a
the
trade.
second scenario comes true, by the way.
The opposite is that they don't want Nick Bosa.
Okay.
They want Kyler Murray.
Got it.
And they're trying to bait the 49ers into trading up for the number 1 overall pick.
I think that's what they're trying. Or they watch the show, and you guys should too at youtube.com/chatsportstv and make Tom do some outlandish stuff.
Or, third idea here, they don't want any of them. And they're going to take a kicker in the first round.
April Fools. What isn't an April Fools is that we have awesome content here at Chat Sports. So you guys should subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Who should the Cardinals draft at number 1 overall? B for Bosa, M for Murray. If you don't like either of them, comment section. That's what it's there for. Tom?
They should draft Nick Bosa.
Okay.
And I'll go on my little bit of a rant here, so deal with it, everybody. Because I might very well be wrong, and I might be doing something embarrassing for Kyler Murray going number 1. I'm not dumb enough to admit that isn't going to happen. But here's the thing, and why I think it's dumb.
Okay.
If you're the Arizona Cardinals, and you're GM Steve Keim, and you're even the owner Michael Bidwell, this time last year, You had just hired a brand new head coach in Steve Wilks.
You're right.
And on draft night,
Okay.
you moved up into the top 10,
Yep.
giving up another top 100 pick to get a quarterback in
Okay.
Josh Rosen. Now you sit here at the beginning of April. You've fired your head coach after a season. You've brought in a college coach that lost his job like a month earlier in Cliff Kingsbury, and now you're exploring trading away that quarterback for way less than you gave up to take Kyler Murray. Now, I like Kyler Murray, and if you don't believe in Rosen anymore, okay, but here's the thing. If you're the decision makers, why do you get to make a brand new change in your total offensive structure a year later? You're not supposed to be able to miss so badly on a head coach and a quarterback in the same calendar year that you replace both. That means you completely failed in your entire evaluation process over the past year. Plus Sam Bradford. Oh, by the way, your GM had a DUI. I don't know how Steve Keim will get to be able to keep his job if that is the process in an entire year. You're trusting a GM who already whiffed on one quarterback and a head coach that got fired at his alma mater. In a bubble, in a blind resume, as producer Brett tends to walk away, deal with it.
How much time we got?
That doesn't make sense to me. That's weird. And my logic is sound there, even though you guys try to walk away.
So we got a few ideas in the comment section. We got Murray to the Cardinals equals Tom shaves head bald. Interesting.
Ooh, okay.
We also have one from
so-
Penguins, 97 beers in 10 minutes.
So, guys, quit trying to kill me, by the way. Shave the head bald is an intriguing idea. That would have to be after the wedding.
I don't know.
No, because then there's no
All right, how about
way.
this? How about this? You will shave your head after the wedding.
I am open to that idea. There's been some other ones in there. There's been some other good ones.
All right, we should move on.
With that said, I look really bad bald. Y'all don't want that.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that. Gerald McCoy's future, Tom. He didn't report to the start of off-season program. People are panicking. Should they be?
Maybe a little bit. It's not voluntary, or it is voluntary.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's the exact opposite of what I actually said. It is voluntary, but
It's going to lead to speculation,
there's been
of course.
the buzz already about Gerald McCoy. Bruce Arians said if he's here and he's got a $13 million non-guaranteed salary, maybe you try to trade him. Bucks have no cap space, and maybe Tampa is at least considering it. Here's a scenario for you. 2 quarterbacks go in the top 4. Be it the Cardinals, a team trades up, the Raiders, who we'll get to here in a minute to freak everyone out. 2 quarterbacks go in the top 5.
Okay.
Or top 4, I should say. And then it's Bosa, Allen. That leaves Quinnen Williams on the board for Tampa Bay.
At
and
5.
if he's there, I think they take him. But Quinnen and McCoy play the same role. So at that point, you don't need Gerald McCoy anymore. So you trade him, you work out a new deal, kind of like Robert Quinn did, and you get a future pick and free up a bunch of money on your cap. Or you just cut him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just throwing that one out there.
All right, we're going to this because the Raiders are looking at quarterbacks, Tom. You're looking at me funny. What was this?
Well, what did I tell you before we even got into draft season?
That this is exactly what the Raiders are going to do.
This
They're going to
was
try to
gonna
create a smokescreen. And I think it makes a lot of sense. So visiting with Dwayne Haskins and Kyler Murray, and visited with Kyler Murray today in Dallas. Interesting. And I think
Murray's
the Raiders
home base is here right now for his pre-draft process.
I mean, when I look at the Raiders' quarterback depth chart, right? I mean, you got Derek Carr, who I think this is no doubt Derek Carr's prove-it year. You have Mike Glennon, who I think is what Tom would look like bald, and then Nathan Peterman.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate,
at
actually.
QB3, right? So, sure, there's Landry Jones, and they're doing a lot of due diligence or whatever in the draft, but man, I get it. I get all these smoke screens around the Raiders in the quarterback position. I think there's only one quarterback that the Raiders would actually draft, though. I think it's Kyler Murray.
What if it's not a smokescreen, though?
Hey, I get it. I think I'm all about this. I think the Raiders would be dumb to not create the smoke screen.
Which is what literally I
Yes,
said
get
to you, because it makes from the smokescreen side of stuff, it makes way too much sense for the Raiders to not go about it this way. If Murray goes number 1 in theory, let's say Bosa, Allen go 2, 3. And you try to drum up hype around Dwayne Haskins, say, hey, Bucks are going to trade down, heck, Giants are going to trade up to get him. You better come take our
Number 4
pick. They trade down, get more assets. That makes a lot of sense there. But also, What if it's not a smokescreen, Mitch?
I'm going to lose my shit.
Yeah. What if they actually do have interest in quarterbacks? Because what do we know about John Gruden? There has never been a quarterback he doesn't love. He loves all of them, except at times the one he has on his roster.
See, I don't even know if that's true. I mean, think about everything that Derek Carr had to deal with this past year.
Yeah.
Jordy Nelson, Marcel Aitman, a lot of different options.
I completely agree, and I've learned my lesson from the Arizona Cardinals drama. It doesn't matter.
Fair. All right, who would you rather have a quarterback?
Yeah.
C for Derek Carr or R for a rookie? I'm going to type Carr.
I'm going to agree.
I want Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr is a talented quarterback, and unfortunately, he just dealt with a lot of BS this past year. Got sacked a ton, fired Tom Cable. And I just think at the end of the day, I've seen the really good parts of Derek Carr. With that being said, if he can't do it with AB, Tyrell Williams, J.J. Nelson, and whoever else, maybe another tight end that they draft, he's got to go.
I agree.
He's got to go.
A lot of sense. All right, next up, how about a trade, another one for the Miami Dolphins, Mitchell? ReShad Jones. The buzz from the Miami Herald is that, A, everyone knows it, the Dolphins are rebuilding. That's very clear to every single party involved here. Now, Jones is one of the highest paid safeties in the NFL. If they trade him right now, they can't cut him. They'd lose extra money. If they trade him right now, it saves like $5 million. But if you wait until after June 1st, i.e. after the draft, before the preseason really gets underway, you actually save $11.5 million.
Okay.
Which I think is, or excuse me, 13.1.5 if they cut him, which I think is intriguing. Could you find a team to kind of do what the Cowboys did with Robert Quinn? Redo his deal and trade for him.
I mean, he's a talented player. I mean, there's no doubt. And there's no doubt that the Dolphins, heck, the GM has already come out and said, we're trying to be in a real build mode. So if they can get extra, picks, or if they could save some money, I don't know. It's one of those things. It's tough. It's tough telling your fan base that you're not trying to tank, and then you get rid of a player like ReShad Jones.
But they 100% are trying to tank.
And that's
fine.
I get it.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. This is the most excited I've been about the Miami Dolphins in a long time.
The Miami Dolphins are what the Browns used to be.
I feel like that's actually kind of slandering Miami, but that is kind of what they're doing.
You have a beautiful, Miami is a beautiful city in a market where you can make a lot of money, and they've just been trash.
Okay.
And nobody wants to go there.
Doesn't that make them the current Giants? Boom, got him. That was a good one. Thank you for laughing at that. I appreciate it. No, I think for Miami, though, it makes a lot of sense. The rebuild's logical.
No, the rebuild is 100% logical and needed. I mean, they don't have a quarterback. No offense, Ryan Fitzpatrick. You're definitely not the answer.
He's not it. All right. Morgan Burnett here. Let's talk safeties again. Now, this is a little bit asterisk now post-Eric Murray trade, but the report from ESPN was that the Browns make sense for Eric Murray, or for Morgan Burnett, because there's some ties there in Green Bay with the front office and Burnett, of course, and they need safety help. I think even with the Eric Murray trade acquisition as part of the Emmanuel Ogbah deal, Murray still makes some sense. Now, he doesn't want to be a sub-package linebacker NFL, but I think for Burnett, that makes a lot of sense in Cleveland there. I think I said Murray 3 different times, so my bad.
All good, Tom. But, I mean, are you the biggest fan of Morgan Burnett?
He is a low-end number 2, high-end number 3 safety. He was upset with the way he was used by Pittsburgh, almost as a sub-package linebacker, and I think that kind of might be more of where he's at this point in his NFL career. So he might be a guy that wants a bigger role and then doesn't really find it.
Well, where's he going to fit in the Browns' defensive back depth chart?
I think he'd compete with Eric Murray for a starting role.
Okay.
And I wouldn't be that surprised if Burnett actually won it.
Because of experience?
Experience, and I think that he's a quality player as well. He's by no means a bad safety. He's just not a Eric Berry prime type guy, That's just me. All right, folks, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code LIVE120. Gets you a 120% deposit bonus. Extra money in case you get all of your March Madness picks wrong, like this guy.
Yep,
How's it like being in last place?
Took Duke to win it. Am I in last place
Yes,
now?
you're in last place.
Pat yourself on the back. Yeah, I took Duke at BetDSI, but luckily they hooked me up with enough deposit bonus money where I'm okay. You put down $50, cover your ass with $60 for free. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Bet on March Madness. Heck, you can bet on the NFL draft that's coming up real soon too. And by the way,
can't wait to make so much money on that like I did at the Combine.
we will be live for the entire draft. So come along for the ride. YouTube.com/chatsportstv.
Let's move to some more contract drama here. Maybe a little bit less than what we saw briefly last year. Julio Jones, who said he doesn't want to be or doesn't care about being the highest paid receiver in the NFL.
I don't know if I
believe it. Do you believe him?
Yeah. Yes and no, because I think Julio Jones, one of the reasons why I love Julio is he is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. You could argue he is the best, and yet he is one of the most humble and silent people. Shows up every Sunday or Monday night and just produces, puts up numbers. You don't hear about him. He's not in the headlines like Mr. Big Chest. Like Julio Jones shows up, gets it done. Now, I think if the Falcons were smart, they would reward Julio Jones, who has had an incredible career, who was top NFL last season in receiving yards, but I think the only thing that's going to be the guaranteed money that he should 100% get.
It'll be very intriguing because
he's getting up there in age and he's injured.
He's always hurt. I don't know if he's fully injured because he plays through a lot.
Yeah,
but there's every game he limps off the field and then comes back on oh, it's fine, it's just Julio.
I love Julio, but he's a nightmare in fantasy. He's always going to have that Q next to his name. Do I play him? I don't know, but that's the thing.
You always play him.
An 80% healthy Julio Jones is a top 5 wide receiver.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So he definitely should be among those highest paid guys, and I wouldn't be surprised if in the near future you kind of see Hopkins say, hey, I deserve a new deal. Because he's gonna get bopped out of the top 5, and he's definitely a top 5.
And he's
receiver.
never missed a game.
Yeah.
Never missed a game.
All right, super chat from Jordan Thomas says Tom should drink whatever made him puke and die at his bachelor party if he means Kyler Murray is drafted by the Cardinals. Do I have to?
I personally would rather see you shave your head. However,
it was pretty gross.
What was it?
By the way,
Kentucky.
It was Kentucky Deluxe whiskey, and it was
about
literally
a year and a half old.
It was literally bad. It was unhealthy whiskey. Doing it in a Boilermaker, I think, actually made it worse in the end. That was probably the worst part of it. But it wasn't puke and die. It was puke and rally, by the way, because I came back out and nearly led us to a comeback in Flip Cup.
I think we won in Flip Cup.
No, we lost.
Oh, that's still one. That's still under review.
Lost.
That's still under review.
All right, whatever. All right.
Jordan Mills.
Thank you for the super chat there, Jordan. Again, keep using those if you want to get featured on the show. All right, let's get to Jordan Mills then. The Bengals just want bad right tackles, Mitchell. That's what I've decided. I would rather start Jordan Mills than Bobby Hart.
Interesting.
Neither are very good, but if you need a swing tackle, you could do worse than Jordan Mills in the end, as far as I'm concerned. He's going to be able to play. He's going to get beat. He's not going to be the most productive guy. He allowed a lot of hurries and pressures over his NFL career, but he's at least somewhat competent. He's going to be a guy you're always going to try to upgrade, but at least you have somebody that you didn't sign off the streets or was a 7th-round pick like the Cardinals had last season.
I'm looking in the comments section. I know this is a little off, but they want you to eat a Carolina Reaper.
Yeah, why do you guys want me to eat Reaper? I don't do good with hot foods.
I think that's the reason.
I
think that is 100% the reason.
Very true.
Hey guys, if you guys want to get on the show, make sure you use hashtag NFL because we're about to do some live Q&A. So use that hashtag NFL.
All right, so Jordan Mills, we'll see if he actually signed to the Jags. Also, by the way, signed Alfred Blue earlier today.